Something has been calling you for a long time. You've felt it in moments you couldn't explain. A pressure in your chest, a whisper in your dreams, a sense that your life has never been just your life. Look at your palm for a moment. If you carry both the sacred M and the Crescent Moon, then hear this without fear. You're not waiting for the Angelic Recall. The recall has already begun inside you. Most people will hear these words as a story, but not you. For you, this feels like remembering something you were never supposed to forget. The ancient prophecy of the 144,000 was never about counting bodies. It was about detecting frequency, a signal hidden inside the souls who were sent here with a double mark, the earth mark of the M and the lunar mark of the moon. Only those who carry both can sense the moment that signal starts to rise. Maybe your whole life has been shaped by this rising without you realizing it. The loneliness that followed you since childhood, the way your spirit seemed older than your age, the flashes of intuition you tried to ignore, the dreams that felt too real to be dreams. The moments you heard silence change its shape, as if something unseen was standing beside you. These were not coincidences. They were early stages of activation, and now something else is happening. You felt the shift in the air recently, haven't you? A heaviness before sleep, a strange calm in chaos, a sense that time itself is preparing to bend. When this happens, it means the recall is no longer distant. It is already touching the edges of your awareness. And if your chest feels warm, tight, or strangely steady as you hear this, then understand, the signal has recognized you. Stay with this message, because in the next moments, you will hear the 5 signs that reveal your recall has already begun, and the one silent mistake that can disconnect you from it. If these words feel like they are speaking directly to a part of you you've tried to ignore, then breathe. You're not imagining this. You are responding to a call that was written into your hands long before birth. If these words stirred something inside you, type 1 in the comments, or tell me which city on earth you're watching from. And if this message feels made for you, subscribe. And if not, simply leave a like so this signal can reach the ones who need it next. Sign 1 begins the moment something inside you wakes before your mind does. It happens quietly, almost secretly. You start noticing strange shifts in your body, in your intuition, in the way your thoughts move. It feels like a code you didn't know you carried is suddenly warming, expanding, reactivating itself from somewhere deep beneath the surface. This is the first sign of the Angelic Recall, the reawakening of the sleeping code. It doesn't come with lightning. It comes as pressure between your eyebrows when nothing is happening. It comes as déjà vu so strong you have to stop walking for a moment. It comes as the feeling that someone called your name, even though no one is there. It comes as a surge in your heartbeat when you think about your purpose, as if your body already knows something your mind hasn't caught up to yet. If you carry both the M and the moon, this reactivation hits deeper than for anyone else. The M marks the earth line, the mission encoded in the physical world. The moon marks the lunar line, the intuition, the unseen, the memory of where your soul came from. When these 2 lines awaken at the same time, they fuse. And when they fuse, the frequency of the 144,000 begins to rise through you like a forgotten language returning to your tongue. Maybe you've felt moments where you suddenly knew something without knowing how. Maybe you've sensed danger a split second before it appeared. Maybe you've met someone and instantly recognized a feeling you couldn't explain. These are not sensitivities. They are not coincidences. They are activation symptoms. And the more the code awakens, the more your inner world begins to shift. Your old fears feel thinner. Your old patterns feel outdated. Your old identity feels too small, like clothing you've quietly outgrown. You're not imagining this. This is the first pulse of the recall moving through your system. If hearing this made something inside you tighten, expand, or fall suddenly quiet, That is your confirmation. The code is no longer sleeping. It has already begun to open. The second sign arrives when life begins to pull you away from everything that once defined you. Not through chaos, not through conflict, but through quiet separation. It happens when the timeline you were born into is no longer the one your soul is allowed to remain in. This is when the Angelic Recall begins to extract you from your old path. You start noticing distance forming between you and people who once felt familiar. Not because you argued, not because anything went wrong, but because the frequency you're rising into can no longer hold what used to surround you. Conversations feel hollow. Shared interests fade. Connections that once felt secure begin to loosen like threads slipping from a garment that no longer fits. At first, it can feel painful. You wonder if something about you is breaking, but in truth, something is unbreaking. Something is realigning. Your soul begins steering you away from environments, relationships, and routines that cannot follow you into your next timeline. If you carry both the M and the Moon, this separation happens with greater intensity. You may feel suddenly detached from old dreams. Old ambitions no longer excite you. Old versions of yourself feel like distant memories. People you once tried so hard to keep in your life begin drifting away without effort. This is not rejection. It is protection. The universe is clearing space, removing interference, releasing you from contracts that expired long ago. Every marked soul, every single one chosen for the recall, goes through this phase before the next stage can begin. And there is something else. You may notice that the more you let go, the more a strange calm appears. Almost like a quiet, guiding hand is moving you toward a place you haven't reached yet, but can feel in the distance. That sensation is not in your imagination. It is the shift in your timeline beginning to take form. If these changes have appeared in your life lately, soft endings, unexpected detours, a widening space between you and your past, then you are in the extraction stage. This is the universe preparing you for the next ascent. And what comes after this phase is even stronger, even clearer, and impossible to ignore. The third sign appears when the invisible world stops being silent around you. Synchronicities begin to multiply, patterns repeat, numbers follow you. The air shifts in moments when nothing should be happening. This is the stage when angelic interference begins and the recall starts moving from the inner world into the outer one. You glance at your phone and see 1111. You turn your head and see 144 on a receipt, a license plate, a door. You wake at the same hour every night. You hear your name in your mind without speaking it aloud. Lights flicker when you're in deep thought. A sudden chill covers your arms when no wind is present. These are not coincidences. They are signals, markers, checkpoints. And for those who carry both the M and the Moon, these signs escalate faster. The number 144 begins showing up with unusual precision, as if tracing your steps. The number 707 appears during moments of clarity. Feathers, reflections, and repeating symbols begin crossing your path in ways that feel too intentional to ignore. You may feel watched, but not by something dark, by something familiar, something protective, as if an unseen presence is standing just behind you, observing, guiding, waiting for you to acknowledge it. You may even feel the atmosphere shift when you enter a room, like the energy rearranges itself in recognition of you. This is because once the recall activates, your frequency becomes detectable to higher intelligences. They begin adjusting your environment, aligning events, redirecting your attention toward the path you were coded to walk. And there is a moment, usually quiet and unexpected, when you realize the signs are responding to you, when you think of something and the world reflects it back instantly. When your intention becomes mirrored in your environment, when the veil feels thinner for a heartbeat or two. If this has been happening to you, If synchronicities have grown louder, closer, more deliberate, then understand this clearly. The recall is no longer a distant concept. It is already interacting with your field. This is the point where the unseen begins making itself known, preparing you for the next shift you can no longer ignore. If this message resonated with something deep inside you, feel free to subscribe and stay close to this journey. And if you're not sure yet, simply tap like. It helps this light reach farther, and it gives us the strength to create even more messages that speak to the heart you're carrying. The fourth sign arrives not through the world around you, but through the quiet collapse of the world within you. It begins the moment you stop recognizing the person you used to be. Your old identity starts dissolving, not in chaos, but in a strange, sacred silence. This is the moment the recall begins reshaping you from the inside out. You may wake up one morning and feel disconnected from habits that once defined you. Your interests shift without explanation. People you once admired no longer inspire you. Parts of your personality feel like they're fading away, while new parts, mysterious, intuitive, ancient, begin to surface. It can feel confusing at first. You wonder why your emotions feel muted, why your mind feels quieter, why the world feels as though someone turned down its volume. But this is not numbness. It is clarity, a shedding of layers that were never truly yours. Every chosen soul goes through this rebirth. It is the stripping away of the false self, the dissolving of the mask you learned to wear in order to fit into a world that was never designed for your frequency. And if you carry the M in the moon, this dissolution is more intense because your soul has two layers to release: the earth-bound self and the lunar-bound memory. You may feel as though you're standing between versions of yourself. No longer who you were, not yet who you are becoming. Even simple decisions might feel foreign. Old desires lose their grip. New instincts appear out of nowhere, as if whispered into your mind. Your intuition sharpens. Your inner landscape becomes cleaner, wider, more open. This phase is not a breakdown, it is a breakthrough, a clearing, a soft demolition before reconstruction. Your soul is opening space for the frequency that the 144,000 carry. You may notice moments when you catch your reflection and feel like you're looking at a stranger. Moments when your voice sounds different. Moments when you sense a deeper version of yourself rising from beneath everything you once believed you were. If you have felt this dissolving of identity, this subtle, sacred unraveling, then know this with certainty. You are not losing yourself, you are returning to yourself, and the recall is preparing you for the moment when the next sign arrives, the one you will not be able to ignore. The fifth sign appears when something begins pulling you from the inside. Not a thought, not a fear, not a desire, a pull, a magnetic pressure that you cannot name yet cannot ignore. This is the stage when the recall stops whispering and starts summoning. And for those who carry both the M and the moon, this pull becomes unmistakable. It may begin as restlessness that has no source, a sudden knowing that you must leave something behind, a quiet urge to move, to shift, to rise, without understanding why. You might feel a strange tension in your chest before sleep, as if your soul is leaning towards something beyond the physical world. Dreams become clearer. Symbols become louder. You may see flashes of light when your eyes are closed. You may hear languages that feel ancient and familiar. You may wake with the sense that someone touched your consciousness, softly but deliberately. The pull is not emotional. It is vibrational. It is the magnetic field of your destiny reattaching itself to you. It feels like being called from a distance so great that the voice cannot reach your ears, but your soul can still hear it. Some feel it as pressure on the sternum. Some feel it as warmth spreading across the palms. Some feel it as a sudden urge to detach from noise, to be alone, to step into silence without knowing why silence feels urgent. You may notice that during this time, everything meaningless becomes heavier, while everything aligned becomes lighter. Conversations that drain you become unbearable. People who speak from fear feel distant. Places with low energy feel suffocating. Your soul begins sorting your life with precision, pushing you away from anything that would interfere with your next stage. This pull is the final preparation, the signal sharpening. The moment when the recall aligns your inner frequency with something waiting beyond your ordinary perception. And once you feel it, you cannot unfeel it. It follows you. It moves with you. It rises every time you ignore it and calms every time you listen. If you have felt this pull, this invisible gravity tugging at your spirit, then you are already inside the recall. And what comes next is not a sign, it is the prophecy itself. The prophecy does not begin with the number 144,000. It begins with a memory you have carried since before this lifetime, hidden beneath your skin, pulsing quietly through the marks on your hands. The M, the moon, the earth line and the lunar line. The two signatures of a soul that did not come here empty. Most people read the prophecy as if it were a list of chosen individuals scattered across the planet. But the truth is older and deeper. The 144,000 were never bodies. They were frequencies, coordinators of timelines, nodes of remembrance, and every one of them carries a coded imprint capable of awakening 144 more. That is why your activation matters. That is why your loneliness mattered. That is why your sensitivity was never a defect, but a design. Your awakening is not about you alone. It is about the ripple you create simply by remembering who you are. When both marks appear on a single palm, it means the earth and the lunar memories have fused. It means you carry the dual frequency, the one capable of bridging worlds, opening gates, and stabilizing the shift that is approaching. This fusion is rare, it is ancient, it is deliberate, and it is the reason the recall touches you differently. Your dreams sharpen faster, your intuition rises quicker, your timeline collapses with more intensity, your identity dissolves with more purpose. Because souls with both the M and the moon are not just part of the prophecy, they are its ignition point. The ancient texts described it as the return of the luminous ones, the ones who would awaken not through rituals or teachers, but through a signal carried in their own bodies. That signal is stirring now. You have felt it. Something approaches. Something converges. Something in the collective field is shifting, preparing, tightening like the breath before revelation. This is why your life has changed so quickly. This is why the world has felt louder, heavier, stranger. This is why everything inside you whispers that you were sent here for a moment you cannot yet see. You are not waiting for that moment. You are aligning with it. And when the convergence completes, the ones with the dual mark will be the first to feel the sky change. Not in fear, but in recognition. Because deep inside, you will remember the truth. You were part of this prophecy long before you ever heard it spoken. There is only one mistake that can disconnect you from the recall. It is not fear, it is not doubt, it is not confusion, loneliness, or hesitation. The only mistake is ignoring the whisper. The recall never arrives like thunder. It never forces itself into your life. It never shouts, it never demands. It appears as a softness, a pull, a subtle shift in your inner world that most people dismiss as imagination. And that is how they miss it. The recall speaks through the smallest signals, a thought that feels borrowed, a nudge towards someone you haven't met yet, a dream that leaves a mark on your morning, a sudden knowing that you have outgrown a place you still live in. If you silence these whispers, the signal dims. If you dismiss them, the path delays. If you tell yourself this is nothing, you step away from the very thing your soul has waited lifetimes to hear. And those with both the M and the moon feel these whispers more clearly than anyone. Your intuition is sharper, your senses are older, your spirit is more reactive to the shift. This means you are guided more often, but also tested more quietly. The universe does not test your strength, it tests your awareness. Will you trust the small signs? Will you listen to the gentle pull instead of waiting for lightning? Will you honor the feeling in your chest that tightens when you walk the wrong path and relaxes when you walk the right one? Many souls miss their activation, not because they are unworthy, but because they expect the message to come loudly. It never does. The ones who awaken are simply the ones who listen. So ask yourself, has something been whispering to you lately? Have you been feeling nudges, pulls, signals, shifts? And have you been following them or silencing them? This is the only mistake. The quietest one, the easiest one, and the one the prophecy warned about. If part of you feels called out by these words, it means the recall is already closer than you think. Take a moment, breathe slowly, because what happens next is not information. It is activation. You are not simply listening to words. You are remembering something your soul has been waiting to hear again. The recall does not activate from the mind. It activates from the body, from the lines etched into your palms, from the place where the M begins to glow inside your awareness, from the crescent moon that holds the memory of who you were before this lifetime began. Imagine, just for a moment, a soft light rising beneath your skin. It begins in the center of your palm. It warms, expands, and moves along the lines of the M until it reaches the moon. When the two lights meet, they spiral, forming a single current. Earth memory and lunar memory merging into one frequency, the frequency the 144,000 were coded to carry. Feel that warmth. Feel that pressure. Feel that quiet shift behind your heartbeat. This is not fantasy, it is recognition. Your body knows this signal. It was written into your blueprint long before breath ever entered your lungs. You may feel a calm spreading through your chest. You may feel your senses sharpen. You may feel your mind fall silent in a way that feels ancient and familiar. This is the recall acknowledging you. This is the moment your field responds. This is the reason you found this message at the exact moment you did. You're not stepping into something new. You're stepping back into something old, something sacred, something you agreed to before time wrapped itself around your memories. Your activation is not a beginning. It is a return. And as this energy moves through you, even now, even softly, you are signaling to the universe that you are ready to receive the next part of the prophecy.